everyone, and welcome to the ASMR review show. Kept you waiting, huh? I know, right? We do this joke in every video, and it never gets old, right? Because once again, it's been a while since I made another video. And for this one, we are going, of course, through Metal Gear Solid series again with Metal Gear Solid 4, all the way back on the good old PS3. Yeah. So, I had to break out the old capture card for this one. Very retro indeed. This is Metal Gear Solid 4. It's funny because I was trying to play these games before Elden Ring DLC dropped. Right, I sped through them, had everything recorded, and then the idea was, of course, to prioritize Shadows of the Erdtree while it was hot. But I guess I didn't really need to speed through these games. I was worried that we would be getting the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake Delta, like that was going to be coming out. Of course, this is me, solid normal, the normal way to play normal. I was worried that, I wouldn't have time to do that, but here we are. I've been, stalling again on finishing the Metal Gear series with 4 and 5, and still at the time of recording this, no news on the Delta release date. They say 2024, but at this point we are quite late into 2024, so I do not know how much of a reality that is going to be. So we're also going to very heavily stick to just the boss fights in this game, because there is a lot to this game. I think this has 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours of cutscenes in this game alone. That's ridiculous, right? So we do not have time to go over every single cutscene in the game, or this would be a 10-hour video. We're sticking purely to the boss fights, and at least I found these boss fights took me quite a long time. Especially Laughing Octopus, but we'll get there. So I don't think there will be a shortage of footage for us to talk about this game series. So, war has changed, which is funny, as everyone has pointed out, that in Fallout 3, war never changes. So, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4 is a very interesting game because it felt so out of place playing it in the context of the series, because I played this one back in the day when it first came out, 2008, PS3, right? And at that time, I actually had only played Metal Gear Solid 3. So, here's how out of touch I was with the series. I thought that the snake in this one was like the snake from Metal Gear Solid 3. And since that was the 60s and this was the future, that he was just really old because he was old. Not knowing about there's Big Boss and Naked Snake, and Solid Snake and Venom Snake, right? And all these characters. And he has an eye patch. So that was the first thing I didn't realize. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it kind of gets explained throughout the game. There's a Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake. He's Big Boss. He becomes the main bad guy. He turns evil. And now this is, Solid Snake, right, who is now 200 years old. And it's accelerated aging, not due to the Fox-Die virus, but due to the Les Enfants Terribles project. He can't have kids, and he rapidly ages as kind of a fail-safe system of sorts. So, here we have our intro, and it's an okay intro. I think it felt very of the times, it's a game and it's in the Middle East, right? And there's people shooting at each other, and there's people of some vaguely described Middle Eastern ethnicity, Call of Duty was doing it, Metal Gear Solid did it, and that's why this game is not my personal favorite in the franchise, but there is a lot it has going for it. When this game hits those highs, the highs are very, very good indeed. So, no, I don't love this as much as Metal Gear Solid 3. It didn't surprise me how much fun it was like Metal Gear Solid 1. I'd put it on par with Metal Gear Solid 2. I know that game has some defenders, and I do like it. I don't hate it, but I'm sorry guys, Metal Gear Solid 2 is not my favorite. If it was just a story, it would be, because that's like some Nier Automata level vibes of storytelling, but it is not. It is a game, and as a game, I found the Big Shell very frustrating to navigate because the environments were very tricky to maneuver. So, yeah, that's our intro, and where did I skip to now? I think did I skip to this because we have the title drop coming up? I can't recall. But yeah, we're going to skip over a lot of the first chunk of the game because there are no, boss fights at the start. Oh yeah, that's not good. So yeah, these are weird bipedal creatures that moo like cows, so therefore they're of course called geckos, which makes sense, I guess, to Kojima-san, I don't know. And wait, we have a superhero action roll, I guess. Not a superhero landing, though. He can't really do that anymore. There we go. Now he is Old Snake, voiced by, of course, the once and only legend David Hayter. Yeah, so again, the intro's not the greatest because there's lots of starting and stopping. It felt to me much like Metal Gear Solid 2, where there was a lot of story and cutscenes and very little gameplay to keep you into it. Just a lot of stop and go. Not super into that much. But I like how it does establish these geckos as a force to be reckoned with. And it's fun when you eventually do have the means to take them down. It feels like you've accomplished something in that regard. And this is a fun little subversion, of course, because, we have the classic cardboard box here, but Snake decides now he's got other methods of camouflage, right? So I think that's pretty fun. Yeah, we got the new Octo camo suit, which is a fun replacement for the camo suit in a Metal Gear Solid 3, constantly switching between the modes. And like this, it says no place for Hideo, right? Like no place to hide. So, oh yeah, they're on to my gimmick, man. But of course, there's more to it than that, right? Oh, could we be in there? There's some kind of shape in there. No place for Hideo. Oh, the foreshadowing indeed, right? That's the other thing. Are we going to boycott Metal Gear Solid Delta because Kojima is not a part of it? I don't know. Like, again, I thought we were boycotting Black Myth Wukong because, like, the developers were bad people, but everyone's in on it now, and everyone's playing it, and they all loved it, and I still haven't played it. And then I was like, are we boycotting Silent Hill 2 Remake because it's Konami and we hate Konami? But no, it seems like everyone's playing Silent Hill 2 Remake. So I guess I gotta play that. Oh, and of course we have the Old Snake theme. Very good indeed, very emotional, right? All the feels. So I don't know, and are we gonna boycott Harry Potter still? Like, are we allowed to even talk about that? I don't know. This is Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. I forget where the title of the game comes up in the dialogue, but I know it does there, somewhere, somehow. So yeah, this is our intro. We are in a Middle Eastern place, and we fought a bunch of dudes. I know there's a fun thing you can have where it's like you, if you're nice to one of those groups of rebels, they actually don't attack you. I tried doing that. I didn't shoot any of them. I just shot the PMC dudes, and I was nice and polite. And they still attacked me. So I don't know what I did wrong. So sorry. I also like the fun detail of him looking for traps, and that's a fun reveal of the directed and produced by Hideo Kojima in a Hideo Kojima game presented by Kojima Productions. So yeah, that's fun. Reminds me of that scene from Platoon, which is a good movie that I need to watch again, and I have not watched it in quite a while. Yeah, Konami, boo, right? So yeah, meanwhile, thousands of miles away, now we're all the way in South America, and Naomi is here, and she does not know how to use zippers properly, and she also lost her accent. I don't know why. There was a reason for it, that in Metal Gear Solid 1 she had like a sort of kind of posh British accent, and then she doesn't in this one. I don't know, but the reasons, it's also like how Dr. Clark, everyone thought Dr. Clark was a man, but he wasn't. He was paramedic. Then they died, apparently. Killed by, what was that? Not Psycho Mantis, the Grey Fox, I think. I don't know. So yeah, we're gonna jump right into boss fights here. There we go. That's why they call it Guns of the Patriots. That's right, Snake. Guns of the Patriots. Metal Gear. So yeah, this is the first boss fight against Laughing Octopus. And I don't remember this fight being that difficult, but it was weird because this fight seemed like it took me forever to do. And I don't know if I was like missing the strategy for it, but it seemed like I was barely doing any damage, and that every hit I took was doing like double damage. So I don't know exactly. But yeah, we went from Solid as Snake having a Dr. Octopus suit with flamethrowers to, literally a Dr. Octopus suit. Laughing Octopus. I think this is fun though, the Beauty and the Beast unit. Not the greatest set of villains in a Metal Gear game, because there's always themes to them. There's always like a core group of Metal Gear bosses. At least there was until Metal Gear Solid 5. So then I think there was a bit where you fight a bunch of soldiers, and I just cut that out because, we didn't need that. It was shooting a bunch of dudes. Also, why is it that the French PMCs are called frogs? Isn't that, like, not cool? I don't know. So here the kind of gimmick is they all play off of bosses from Metal Gear Solid 1, right? Laughing Octopus is like Decoy Octopus. And then we've also got like Vulcan Raven, Raging Raven, and Screaming Mantis, Psycho Mantis, and Crying Wolf, Sniper Wolf. Yeah. So there's kind of an interesting play there between them. So that I think is pretty interesting. However, the fights themselves, none of them are like super special. I felt most of the bosses devolved into being bullet sponges. Laugh with me. This is how it is when I'm trying to tell a joke. Laugh. Laugh. Also, there's this one annoying feature I find where, like, in the cutscene, if you have the regular gun or the regular pistol not equipped, it always, like, sets you up with that. So there was lots of running around and me trying to figure it out, but like I'm laying into her with my super powered awesome marksman DMR rifle gun thing, and it seems like I'm barely tickling her. So I don't know. I also thought about doing trank kills, but then I realized it doesn't actually matter with these boss fights whether you do a trank kill or a regular kill. What matters is the final section where you have to fight the Beauty version. One thing you will see is I've edited out me rummaging around in the inventory like I did with the Metal Gear Solid 3 video, and I've also edited out any healing parts, because sometimes, you know, the best way I found to heal, I didn't know about the healing songs in the iPod. That's funny, the game literally has an iPod in it. I think that's cool. It's you can just like crouch down and like go into the play dead mode. That helps heal you. So there were a lot of times where I would just like go into that mode just to heal while I had a safe spot. So I've edited those bits out, right? And yep, the snake's an old man, so he gets cramps. Now, I feel that, man. Back pain is real. I get you. So yeah, the first section of the game, right, we were in the Middle East, and there was some nice level design and some fun fights, but there wasn't so much for stealth, I found, and that's the main thing. This is much more of a straight-up action game than it is. See, look at that one hit, 3/4 of my health, sorry, a quarter of my health, and that's half. I'm guessing that's also because you have a lot more health recovery items available. Like, you take more damage because you have more ways to heal the damage, perhaps. It's kind of like a nice combination of Metal Gear Solid 1 and 3. Because in 3, you didn't really have ways to like instantly recover health, but you took a lot less damage because you could heal and you had the stamina bar. And then in the other Metal Gear games, you had a lot of ways, like rations, to instantly heal health, but you took a lot more damage. And of course, we've got to have the solid eye on for the radar, and I know where you are. Where are you at? I forgot about the, where are you? Up there? Oh, there you are. Above. So here we are, way into this fight, and I've done like, what, barely a quarter of her health. I don't know. So yeah, I feel like that's how it is. You take a lot more damage because you have a lot more methods of healing, which I think is a fair balance. I didn't find the difficulty on normal to be like too crazy. And I just don't really like the stealth, which is kind of non-existent. You can't just go guns blazing, and it doesn't really feel in a lot of games like that's the right way to do it. Like, I tried to go as much stealth as possible, and I made a point in Metal Gear Solid 3 of trying to kill as few people as possible so that the Zorro boss fight was easier. Yeah, and here I was just like running around. I don't know what the trick is to her. It seems like she blocks only every couple of shots, but I don't know. So yeah, I'm probably doing something wrong here, and I don't know what it is per se. I feel like if you use like something automatic, like since she can only block so many shots, it just like enough bullets get through. Maybe that's what the good old P90 spray and pray is for. But I digress. Yeah, let's see, we had the first bit. Middle East. Oh, there you are. I think. No. Oh, I see you're part of that machine. We had the first bit in the Middle East. Jesus, that's a lot of damage. I'm gonna need a ration for that. Yeah, that's bad. I would have been dead. And that was like, again, a nice start, a couple of nice bits. It was fun to see Meryl again, and Johnny. He's pretty funny. We like Johnny. It's kind of funny how he turns out to be hot in the end. Of course he does. I like the whole shoulder switching with the analog sticks. I don't really know what game it was that popularized the whole third-person analog, using the R3L3 to like switch the shoulders. But basically, I feel like Metal Gear Solid did it, And ever since then, no, nothing. There's got to be something, right? I don't know. Maybe I did it too soon. I see you, bitch. Ever since Metal Gear Solid did it, I've just like so accustomed to that being what should be the norm. So whenever a game doesn't have like the shoulder switching analog buttons, and actually no, it wasn't, because Uncharted did that too. Now that I think about it, yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Just to me, it's always been a Metal Gear Solid thing, even if it wasn't the original first one to do it. Also, I hope you don't mind this infrared view, because you're going to see a lot of it in this video and in the Metal Gear Solid 5 video, because the infrared is just, like, OP. I can see perfectly fine, and enemies are lit up like Christmas trees. Here's where I thought I'm going to do a tactical heal here, and through the power of editing, I can heal myself instantly. Perfect. Yeah, and then there's that sort of fun bit where, oh yeah, here we go. This is fun. There's a lot of fun radio calls you can do here, or like, if you, call Otacon, he's all like, and he's like, Otacon, why did you call me? Snake, what are you talking about? I didn't call you. Yeah, you did, right now. And then if you go over and get attacked, then you can call him again and be like, yo, Otacon, what the heck, man? Why did you do that? Snake, that wasn't me. So, again, we don't have time for all of those very funny, there we go. We don't have time for all of those funny conversations, but, you know if you've played this game, how many hidden details there are, because that's what this game is. And, oh, I'm pretty sure the trick here is to, like, just get on top of the bed, and you can't get hit. I don't know. Haha, you can't get me. I win. So yeah, the Liquid, he has control of the nanomachines. This is where the nanomachines gets pretty big. Like, there was already the nanomachines in the second one. See there, I just happened to shoot her. Oh, Naomi, where are you? That's not Naomi. That is not Solid Snake. So again, I don't know why this fight's taking so long. You tell me if I was doing something wrong, but whatever it is, I'm brute forcing my way through it, and it seems like it's working. Yeah, the nanomachines were already a factor in Metal Gear Solid 2, but now they are really a huge factor in this one, because Liquid seems like he can temporarily turn on and off the nanomachines, which are like causing emotions to be suppressed, and it's basically like everybody has them. The only person who doesn't is Johnny, because he hates needles and he skipped all of the mandatory inspections somehow. That's why he's not affected. Which I think that's pretty funny, that the one guy actually had the funny thing about it, though. These days, I'm really wondering if there would be near 100% compliance when it came to everybody getting injections, if you know what I mean. Maybe, I guess it was a military thing, right? So, is this game saying all of the people who didn't get injections had the right idea? I know, that story's so 2020, right? Yeah, so it's a fun intro, and I do like the South America section, because there are some pretty, like, large-scale battles. Oh, that's gonna hurt. No. Jesus. Now that's a lot of damage. Did you see that? And this was on normal difficulty. Does that mean it's like a one-hit kill on extreme? I don't know, but whatever it is, I'm doing something right, apparently. So, yeah, I like the South America section. There's some fun set pieces to it. I like the whole sneaking around in there. But again, like, the stealth is just not as important, I found, as previous games, right? I felt like in Metal Gear Solid 1, you have to stealth it. You cannot brute force your way through it, because enemies just infinitely spawn. And, you will die. It will be bad. Very bad indeed. Not today, Satan. Apparently she's immune in that mode. I don't know. I'm tanking it. In Metal Gear Solid 2, it was kind of the same thing. You needed stealth to an extent. Metal Gear Solid 3 was the first one where I felt like when worst came to worst, I could just, give her a bud, right? But here in this one, I feel like it's just like the way you do it. I know that there's achievements for doing the game in stealth and the extreme difficulties, or, getting certain ranks without any kills. But we're not about rank. And oh shoot, she found my camping spot. That was bad. I just wanted the free heals, man. Come on, man, just give us a break, man. Apparently you can actually use the drum can, I think, to negate her roll. You can roll into her with it. The drum can is pretty fun. It's a nice, silly little upgrade to the cardboard box. The old classic, of course, is the cardboard box. Can't be beat. But yeah, it's kind of a shame because, after this segment, when we beat Laughing Octopus, you'll see we get the mask from her, the camo mask, and then there's this kind of interesting sort of stealth segment that's meant to kind of recreate the whole sneaking through the forest section, with the end from Metal Gear Solid 3, but it's just not nearly as how should I say, specific of a stealth segment as that game. Yeah, you can run into a guy and then he'll spawn in and he'll attack you, but I think they had that part better perfected in Peace Walker, personally. So I don't really dig it. And then after that, the stealth is basically gone for the rest of the game. Okay, come on, man, we can do this. She's 1 HP in a dream. It's no use. I don't know, I think it's been some use at this point. Maybe. Possibly. There we go. At last. What was that, 20 minutes? I don't know, man. I don't know what I was doing wrong. But it worked. And don't matter. I won. A win is a win is a win. So, now we get to the next segment, which is the beauty segment of the beast, right? Beauty and the beast. And I'm not going to include it, but then we also get a follow-up conversation with Drebin. Drebin is a gun launderer, and his whole thing is he, removes the guns like nanomachine systems so that anybody can use them, and he sells guns. The whole gun store thing, I think, is pretty fun. He's like a mobile merchant from Resident Evil 4, but it's not like he shows up at certain points in the game. He's there whenever you need him, so I think that's pretty fun. And I like that collecting guns for enemy soldiers, they're instantly sold to him for GMP, I think, or Drebin points. Yeah. So, I like that. That's pretty fun. And it's not super obtrusive. You just walk over it and it does it automatically. There's no additional animation or prompt needed. It's very unobtrusive to keep the flow going. That is good. And, oh no, she's hot. Oh no. She's an anime character, which makes sense because this is a Japanese game. So, yeah, this is very strange because on one hand, I'm not gonna complain about the smexy lady in the tight latex outfit, Black Widow, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Kate Beckinsale from Underworld. I ain't complaining, man. I am a simple creature, a man of culture, shall we say. But the whole weirdness of this, because these are a bunch of women with like a bunch of hardcore trauma, but also they're like got all the boob jiggling physics and like there's close-ups of their butt. What am I supposed to feel here? Because this is not hot, and they just are prancing around all traumatized. Like what's the TikTok audio? Like, oh, it's adorable. Oh, it's traumatized. Like, that's just all of the boss fights in a nutshell. So it's an interesting combination, to say the least. I guess they were kind of getting their obligatory Evangelion reference, where they, the Evangelion is an anime, so of course they have to take someone who is a child and is traumatized and has a horrific backstory, but they're also in like a tight latex outfit for people to cosplay in sexy ways, and that's just, we're not just gonna talk about that, man. That's just wrong. So yeah, now this is where I decided, okay, we will do the trank kills. But first I thought I would show off, yeah, this is what happens. Because like I was playing this game while like my wife was watching. So like, yep, this is a boss fight. They hug you and you have to throw them off and shove them to the ground. This was again for story purposes, I swear. And then I wanted to show, well, this is what happens if you lie down. They, climb on top of you. Normally I would be into this, but not when it's weird, Sorry, is that too TMI? Anyway, moving on. Get off of me. I thought it was funny that, like, I almost died there. I thought the only thing that takes me out is there's that horrible, that stock scream sound effect. I don't know what you call it. I think some people have kind of referred to it as like the female Wilhelm scream. But like, to do my best version of it while still not yelling, it's like that. Like that kind of pace or rhythm to it, and this is where I realized, oh, I didn't heal. Oh, I might actually die at this fight. That would be embarrassing. No. 1 HP in a dream, baby. that would be embarrassing if I did that just for the research purposes, And I don't really need to conserve ammo, as you can see. But I think the ways to do that is to like wait until she like does a dodge and then you shoot her. That's the other thing as well. There's not really much for resource management in this game. I never was running out of ammo except on the shotgun, but that's because you don't get much ammo to begin with. So to me it just seemed like I was perfectly fine to spam whatever ammo I wanted. And you get full ammo at the beginning of every mission, and you find so much of it, and so, yeah. Anyway, now that weird, awkward scene is over, we can move on. Yeah, if you kill them, like, they just die, right? Of course. But if you trank them, I think it seems to hint at the possibility that you may have, like, freed them, and perhaps they could begin again, maybe, possibly, hopefully. Like, that's what I do like about the fights in this, at least the whole end, is that, it seems like narratively the story changes with whether or not you do a kill or a trank kill. Like in Metal Gear Solid 3, it doesn't matter, they all die anyways. So, yeah, that's nice, and it's like the ending of Requiem for a Dream where they all go fetal position. So, yeah, that was a thing that, happened, and it was interesting, I guess. And then Drebin calls us to, tell us all about their tragic backstory. And there's literally no way he would know this, so we're gonna ignore that from now. We end up getting the face camo mask from Laughing Octopus, but I didn't really use it because that's it just doesn't fit well with the cutscenes. I want to see my face here. The other thing, of course, I skipped over was the big fight that Raiden and Vamp have. As really fun and cool of a cutscene that is. It is just a cutscene and not a boss fight. And again, we do not have time for that in that video, so we have time to talk about it, but while we're showing footage of something else. So, yeah, the ramp. Raiden and Vamp's couple's name is Ramp. That's hilarious. Raiden and Vamp's fight is fun. It's interesting to see him as a cyborg ninja. It did seem weird that his character felt completely different from 2. It was something I never really understood when playing this game for the first time because I had not played Metal Gear Solid 2, right? It was my first time playing it for this video series. And here we have Raging Raven. You know, give me your anger, Snake. Show me your rage. And she's got a grenade launcher. That's pretty cool. So yeah, kind of like anger, like the Fury, but also like, you know, well, Raven, like Vulcan Raven. So she's pretty cool in that regard. This is a bit of a fun fight, but again, I didn't really feel like there was much of a quote-unquote gimmick to it, other than basically being a bullet sponge. So, we'll get to that then. Alright. And, again, I like the Eastern European setting. I mean, but that's the thing about this chapter. Chapter 3 is there's so, little to it, right? You have a very long intro cutscene, and then a section where you tail a guy, right? You sort of like follow him, and that's kind of interesting, I think. But it goes on for a little long, and it's not like super interesting. I also thought I would try to be clever, like using the javelin, but it seems like she can outrun it. I don't know. She's flying pretty fast. No, is that gonna work? Is it gonna work? I don't know. I just thought, you know, like enemy AC-130 above. No, it did not work. Oh well. And, is the M14 like a commonly regarded gun in this game? Because it seems like every time I just end up using the M14, I like the sights, I like the way it feels, I like the power it has. And, yeah, let's try that again. Oh, okay, that worked. That was actually nice. Bleep. She's on to me. Yeah, so the tailing part's not that great, but you do get to meet Eva again. So that is fun. I like that. And then there's, of course, that hilarious bit where it turns out, oh, that's 3 kobolds in a trench coat. Wait, it actually is, because it's those weird, the weird little eyeball things with the 3 limbs that look like they belong in a Hayao Miyazaki movie. It just seems like something out of Howl's Moving Castle or Spirited Away. I can't describe it other than that. What do they call them? Like scarabs, I think. Yeah, the 3 kobolds in a trench coat, but it's actually scarabs. And then there's the motorbike segment, right? And no, don't you knock me off the ledge. The motorbike segment is fun because it's a nice homage to Metal Gear Solid 3. But I also feel like that one goes on a little too long. Did that count? Okay, it counted, sort of. She's gonna outrun it. But it was still fun. Nope, that one also did not count. Well then, getting my ass kicked over here. And then we have a boss fight, and then that's the end of this chapter. The rest is all like 40 minutes of cutscenes, mainly of just Liquid showing up and wrecking shit. So, yeah, here, of course, playing dead when I thought, oh wait, this is a bit new of an opportunity. And apparently her wings are just immune to rocket launchers. I don't know. Again, I'm guessing guessing spray and pray is the best. It seems to me like some people have said the P90 is really good for that. I like my good old, master key combo, right? And, nope, the javelin-proof wings. She's got her everything-proof shield, plot armor. Yeah. Oh well. And, was that a stun grenade? Where'd my audio go? I don't know. Yeah, so I enjoyed this fight, I think, more than Laughing Octopus, because, at least to me, it seemed like, Jesus. Buzzing the tower, alright. What are you, Maverick? It seemed to me like I handled this one better. Like, this one didn't take me 20 minutes to do. So I must have been doing something right. Maybe, possibly, potentially. I don't know. But, yeah, and then again, the fun setting, the Eastern European setting, this, like, church tower sort of thing. It's not really a church or a clock tower, is it? It's just a tower. I don't know. Okay, can you, I'm gonna need you to let me up, please. Thank you. So yeah, that's how I feel about the first bit of Metal Gear Solid 4. Like, there's 5 chapters, right? 5 chapters and an epilogue. Chapter 1 is like a decent start, but it's nothing super amazing. Chapter 2 is a little bit better, there's a boss fight in it, there's a fun turret section, because it's a 2000s game, so it's gotta have a turret section. Those are everywhere in those types of games. And then it ends with that fun Raiden Vamp fight, which is pretty cool. He's interesting, Raiden being the whole cyborg ninja. It's like the evolution of his whole Swordmaster stuff from the end of Metal Gear Solid 2. And it feels a little annoying at first that he's all like, oh yeah, you know how I said I was gonna go live my life and protect my family? None of that matters, and now, my former girlfriend is dating, married to a guy that's old enough to be her father. And then they do try to play it off that, like, oh, it was all for show, just to, like, make Raiden think that he didn't have any connection to Rose. I'm like, it's still kind of scummy. And to be fair, that is how I feel about Campbell overall as a character. He is a cool bro, and he's also a scheming asshole. He's both. Whenever he shows up, I'm kind of like, yay, it's Campbell, he's here to help us. But also, alright Campbell, what secrets do you have planned that you're not going to tell us until the 3rd act of the game, right? But that's what I like about him as a character. Makes him interesting. He's complex in that way, and I never really know whether to like him or not, whether to trust him. That's pretty cool. Am I out of javelins? I am. Well, I'm doing this the old DMR way. There we go. Oh, I'm showing you my rage. My rage at wanting this fight to be over. Jeez. But yeah, overall, Act 2 is a step up. And then this Act 3 is okay. Again, the 3 gameplay segments are kind of fun in their own, but like it is a very lengthy section for cutscenes, to the point where I kind of get tuned out a little bit. And this is, I feel like they may have gone too far in a few places. But that's the other thing as well, is this is definitely the big fan service game. Hey, there we go. We got a Raven down, we got a raging Raven down. All units, Irene, I repeat, Irene. Yeah. So this is the heavy fan service, which is funny because it's a thing people complain about now. Like, oh, this thing is just a bunch of fan service. Alien Romulus, too much fan service. Star Wars, Terminator, everything's too much fan service, right? Deadpool and Wolverine, too much fan service. But, like, it was already a thing well established many times before in other franchises. And this is definitely a big one for that. I mean, almost every character from a previous game comes back in some regard. Then there's so many plot points, references, lines to it. Like, there's literally a button that pops up during cutscenes to get you to see a whole bunch of flashbacks from previous games. There's literally a remember this button. So yeah, it's nothing new, I would say. But that's just my opinion on it. Who knows what I know. Oh no, she's also hot. Well, god damn it, what am I supposed to do now? And the birds and the bees. Oh no, not the birds and the bees. Oh no. Again, Haun's adorable. The Haun's traumatized. Like, I don't know, man. It's just a weird combination. Like, I'm trying to think. Apart from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, which we're not counting because it's not a Kojima Metal Gear game, was there ever a Metal Gear game that was more anime than some of the elements of this one? I feel like this is the most anime. No, I'm not looking. Okay, sorry. Respectfully, I looked. I'm sorry. I was appreciating the view, that it would seem a waste. Oh, okay, whatever, I already looked at Eva in the one cutscene, right? That's what I think is funny about the trailer for Metal Gear Solid Delta is at the very end they have like the one shot of Eva, and it's like the shot of her face smiling, but it's like they're showing that in the trailer because they know that in the game nobody is going to see that shot because they're going to be too busy using the snake POV feature, if you know what I mean. Wait, she's what out of her what? Oh, I see. Yeah, I would really hate for the latex lady to do that. So here I thought I wanted to try what happens if I hide in the cardboard box. So if I just chill here, you broke my cardboard box. You bitch. Okay, you mess with the cardboard box. That's it. I'm gonna show you what to do. What happens if I use the drum can? Oh, okay, you just magically remove it from existence. No, I don't want to go to school, Mom. He's my dog, I'll do it myself. Old Yeller. What? Sometimes I do wonder how my brain works. Like, when I think of the moments in my head that live rent-free, I think of that Disney Channel show, The Buzz on Maggie, where it was a bunch of flies as characters, and like her brother was named Aldrin, like Buzz Aldrin, and what I mainly think of is how there's the one episode where she goes to see Flyinator 3, like as in Terminator 3, and alright, give me a second to turn this thing around, and yeah, did that do anything? I don't know, but I don't want to make myself sick, so we'll just go with it. And I always thought that meant that Terminator was like a horrifically violent horror movie, which to be fair, the first one kind of is, but that doesn't really apply to the others. But there's a pun where they refer to The Last Samurai as Last Sammerfly. And that's just stuck in my head, which is funny because I actually didn't see The Last Samurai when it came out. It was one of those ones I always wanted to, but like, this is me showing my age here. It was just never available for rental at like Rogers or Blockbuster. So I never watched it until many years later. And then I thought it was good, but it didn't really stick in my mind much. So I actually watched it recently because I went to see Hans Zimmer on his tour, Hans Zimmer Live. God, that was such a good show. And there's a section where he plays songs from Last Samurai, so I knew I had to have watched that movie to remind myself of how it is. And it was good. It was very good indeed. Anyway, yeah, we defeated Rage and Raven, she's angry and stuff. But again, we let her live because she deserves better. And now we have a grenade launcher, so that's pretty cool. I do like how each boss gives us goodies and unlockables, and I'm actually going to get some mileage out of this one, I think, but not so much as a certain other boss weapon, you know. So, next up we have the Crying Wolf boss fight. So what has happened that we missed? Well, again, Liquid took control of the system. He's on his way back to Shadow Moses to acquire the railgun from Metal Gear Rex, so we can use that to shoot down the satellite, destroy the final AI piece, which is what, is it JD or GW? I forget which ones are which. And so, on our way, of course, we encounter Crying Wolf. Now, again, this is where the game goes full fan service. Acts 1 and 2 were decent. Act 3 was not that great. But Act 4, this one is a lot of fun because, again, it's a total crazy nostalgia trip, and I love it. We gotta go back to Shadow Moses, and now it's like I finally understand, because playing this game I knew that Shadow Moses was a thing from the first Metal Gear, and I understood that. And there is that fun little bit where Snake has a dream where it's like you playing OG Metal Gear 1. I didn't include that for pacing purposes, of course. So that's pretty cool. And then you like go around like all the different areas that you did in Shadow Moses, but like now it's in pristine 3D PS3 graphics. So that's a lot of fun. I like that. And then yeah, we get this boss fight against Crying Wolf, who is again like a new version of Sniper Wolf, but she's also got Fortune's railgun from Metal Gear Solid 2. And I think that's fun that now we have an actual real boss fight against Fortune, essentially, because that fight in Metal Gear Solid 2 didn't count, you know, it was an unwinnable fight. And then Snake fought her off-screen, and he lost, apparently. But did he, like, legit lose, or did he, like, intentionally lose, because it was part of the plan? Because there were layers upon layers of hidden agendas in that game. I don't know. But in any case, well, if we're going retro with the old Crying Wolf fight, then we better go retro with the good old SVD. I saw a sniper rifle in the basement of the second hangar, the tank hangar. You mean I have to go all the way back there? Oh, Jesus, hello. You really weren't messing around. What was I supposed to do there? I don't know. Eat P90. Did I do anything there? Maybe. Well, I did something. And, wait, the frogs are all a bunch of ladies, too. A bunch of French ladies. Oh, they're hot, too. Bleep. There we go. I'm trying to think. Oh, no, you don't. That was close. That's the trick to this fight, is you have the thermal goggles, but you can't actually see her until she, like, you know, comes out of the tank shell. So I think this is a fight I enjoy more than the other two because it doesn't feel like she's just a bullet sponge. There's a lot more strategy to it, moving in with the environment. And I like the setting. It's like a super blizzard, snowy version of Shadow Moses. The whole nostalgia element is really fun. I like that a lot. Oh, is that you? Is it? I don't know. I'm gonna try again. Come on. Weapons way. I don't know. Also, yes, I have a silencer now for my, the M14, right? Again, it just seems like, to me, it was like the best gun to use. I don't know. But, yeah, so again, I love the level, I love the fight, it's really good. I always like the sniper battles, and it's not as crazy fun as a sniper battle like the end, but it's not as much of an annoying fight as the sniper wolf fights in Metal Gear Solid 1. That was definitely a case of the limitations, the hardware, and the mechanics making it more annoying than it actually needed to be, you know, with using the diazepam to like make your hands not tremble. That was just not great. I did think that sniper bit and the bottom of the big shell in 2 was pretty fun, especially because you just call up Snake and he essentially plays the level for you. That's pretty good. And yeah, we're just creeping around. Oh, damn it. Well, we got gotten. Oh, we had a good run. Jesus. I also just like the look of Crying Wolf. I don't know, who does she remind me of? She reminds me of Metal Garurumon from Digimon. Remember Digimon? Digimon was pretty fun. Yeah. Or maybe there's a Pokemon I'm thinking of too. Oh, yeah. What's the one? The one from Pokemon Forever. Celebi, Voice of the Forest. Is it Suicune? Yeah, I kinda got some Suicune vibes. Yeah, Suicune was pretty cool, you know. Celebi, R-A-T-E. Darius, did you just really reference the end credits song of Pokemon Forever in a Metal Gear Solid 4 video? Well, yeah, you see, this is Metal Gear Solid 4, and that's Pokemon 4. They've both got 4s in the title, so it makes sense. Also, I don't know if I properly understood the whole, like, stress combat high thing, because, like, it seemed like it just built up, like, my stamina was, like, boosted. I don't know exactly how it works, but, in any case, yeah, there we go. Got a couple more shots in on her. That's nice. I also didn't know, but if you use the iPod, there's a couple of these, like, healing songs where it, like, helps reduce stress or helps heal you. And I didn't know about that. And, look, I don't know if the cardboard box helps, but, for me it helps. So I will use it. It's an ode to my previously destroyed cardboard box. Oh yeah, are you guys sick of the infrared view yet? I hope not. Beauty, eh? Boom, headshot. So, yeah, that's another one down. Another one bites the dust. Except, of course, we have to have the, very awkward lady who's hot but traumatized and... no, here we go again, right? Once more. But yeah, the whole Shadow Moses section is great. I feel like it's the part of the game where, like, the momentum really picks up, per se. Because, again, I didn't really feel that sense of urgency in parts 1 and 2. And then the third chapter, like, we're starting to get there. It's just, gameplay and cutscene-wise, it's a bit of a slog, right? That's the thing, is there's a lot of cutscenes in the game, as I talked about already. And, yeah, there's a lot of, like, really interesting stuff that happens, but sometimes I feel like the cutscenes are almost moving in slow motion. Like, especially the scenes on the plane, all the briefing scenes. It just seems to me like there's like a couple seconds delay between people talking. Like it'll be like someone says like, "Snake, come look at this." Okay. Look here on this computer. It appears to me that Liquid wants to go to Shadow Moses. Shadow Moses? What could Liquid want with Shadow Moses? I don't know. I don't know either. And then that combined with the fact that, like, the frame rate lags so hard on those plane sequences, It's just like, am I watching it in like 0.75 mode? Right? Like, where's the 1.5 mode? That seems like it would be better. It's interesting though. Out of all of the bosses, I think Crying Wolves is the only ones who like actually gets me. All of the other ones, it's just kind of like, wow, that's dark. Wow, that's messed up. But like this one and with the wolves, I guess it gives me feels because it already is meant to be a sniper wolf throwback. So that's probably why, because that was already a pretty emotional fight. Of course, with Otacon being all snake, I love her because she's a hot, dominant blonde lady with her suit unzipped. Like, okay, Otacon, do you really love her? Or is it just because you used to be an anime otaku? I also think, like, I kind of love the tone of this game, that it's like everything is completely straight-faced. There's nothing really intentionally played for laughs. And this is probably the, shall we say, the most, it's the most horniest game, it's so weird, like, I don't know why, but like, I'm watching this and I'm just feeling like, well, I mean, we got like the weird girls and, no, do you want to pose for your picture? No? No? Okay. I was trying to remember, I know there's like that mode where it's like you go into like the white void and then they just pose and take pictures for you. I was trying to remember how to do that. But yeah, again, I have like 300 shots with this thing. Do I really need to conserve ammo? I don't know. That's the other thing, is this game's weird because it has more freedom of gameplay. You have so many guns and weapons you can use, but ultimately I just end up picking my favorites and sticking with them. And even on repeat playthroughs, I just end up using what it is that I like the most. So it's kind of disappointing in that way. Like, it's weird to say that more options is worse, but like in all the other games you had like one assault rifle, like one pistol, one trank gun, one sniper rifle, and that was just like, you have the gun. And then we get to this one, and you've got like so many different options, and yeah, it's really cool that you can like choose it yourself, but ultimately I find so many of the options to be kind of extra fluff per se. I do like that you get the ENS sniper rifle that after that was introduced, the Moisen Nagent, I think it is. I don't know, but whatever it is, the ENS sniper rifle is great. And here's the best thing, I finally get the railgun. Yes. I remember playing it thinking in Metal Gear Solid 2, like, I want that railgun. I want it. And now I finally got it. Yes. And I like how it actually becomes like an important plot point to have this railgun, because we use it to take on the geckos. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Oh, welcome home, Wolf. Oh yeah, I remember that. Again, this game literally has a member berries button, the whole nostalgia baiting is nothing new. I think it even goes back to like comedy sequels in the 80s and 90s, or like movies like Back to the Future, right? I don't know, it's weird to me that Back to the Future never seems to be complained about for being like carbon copies of the previous one. Like, all three of them have like different main plots, but like so many of it relies on like imagery and lines and references and callbacks to the previous ones. And when we watch those movies, people just go, that's funny, they referenced the thing from the other one. I guess because since it's a time travel movie, we're okay with like that element. Oh, the wolf's walking off with her. That's nice. I don't know, it's kind of interesting, with all the complaints about Alien Romulus being too much of a member berries movie. And here we go. I have to include this. If there's one thing I'm including that's not a boss fight, it's... Alright, hold on, Snake. Time to change the disc. You need to swap disc 1 for disc 2. You get it, because this is where you had to swap discs in the original Metal Gear Solid. No. Oh, right. We're on PS3 and Blu-ray disc dual layered. No need to swap. And I love Snake. He's so frustrated. Damn it, Otacon. Probably the angriest I've heard. We don't need to swap discs, but we do need to install every segment separately. That was kind of so trippy. In this was playing this on the digital copy, because back in the day, of course, I played it like on disc, and you had to wait for the install segment for each of the sections. Every chapter there was like a loading screen, and it was all like Snake just chilling, taking a smoke break, and at the end of it, kept you waiting, huh? So yeah, of course they just took the railgun, because that's what's most important, right? But yeah, then eventually they finally, in the final days of like what was going to be the end of the PS3 store, they put this game on the digital store, so that's how I bought it. And this is, you remember when I said this was like the most explicitly sensual game? I'm like, the way Vamp's got his knife there, and she's like reaching in and like caressing him, and she's the queen. So I'm getting like, this is like some Nosferatu Mina vibes, you know? Just endlessly devoted to a smexy vampire. I mean, Vamp, he's kind of hot now, right? We gotta admit that. They knew what they were doing when he put his knife there, you know? Yeah, this just feels weird to talk about. And remember though, right, he's called Vamp, not because he's a vampire, but he's called Vamp because he's bisexual. I love how that's like a sort of hidden... Oh damn, my stress jumped up. I love how it's like a hidden detail that I just sort of accidentally discovered, not knowing it was like a super secret cutscene that some people handle. And here, of course, I was hiding in the cardboard box, because hiding in the cardboard box reduces stress. Because of course it does, right? So here I was trying to remember, like, what's the trick to this fight? Because I remember it was something to do with, you gotta inject him with nanomachines. But first I was like, do you just do that, or do you have to reduce his health first? And I couldn't remember. I was like, do I need to try and kill him? I don't know. So this was kind of me trying to remember, because I've beaten the fight before. But again, I knew it ends with you injecting him with the nanomachine suppressant, right? Yeah, so where were we? Yeah, it's a very sensual game. The most probably obligatorily obvious one out of them. You know, because again, it's an anime, right? Like, I can't complain about that. That's the style, you know. It would be like complaining that a science fiction horror movie is violent and scary. Then we talked about the member berries, but again, that's just how it is. And no one seemed to complain about it then. I don't know. I just find it odd. Yeah, the disc swap is pretty funny. Really like that. Get to use the railgun now. We gotta fight Vamp, finally, which is great. Oh yeah, Dracula. Yeah, Nosferatu. New Nosferatu movie. Super hyped for that. Oh, okay. Oh, the other thing also that makes the gameplay a little weird is just like how much ammo you get. Again, I'm playing on normal difficulty. 'Tis the normal way to play normal, right? And I'm not into like all extreme difficulties and things like that. Not with these games. I know you can make them really difficult, like European Extreme Mode in Metal Gear Solid 3, where the game just ends if you get spotted. And friend of mine, he tried to do that challenge of himself. It was European Extreme and no kills. No kills, no alerts for the entire game, and it's difficult. So, okay, can you just stop now? Are we there yet? Yeah, Nosferatu, Robert Eggers' new movie, always, of course, very hyped for that. That's gonna be great. Looking forward to it, indeed. And so this is where I was like, maybe I need to, like, you know, like, stamina reduce him, and, then do it. And that's why you equip your rations. And, no, we didn't do it yet. That's what the syringe is for. So I was like, okay, I've got to grab him. And then... No, grab... Yes, there. And there we go. Did it. Sometimes I always find the CQC controls can be a little wonky. So, the next phase of the fight is Raiden is fighting Vamp. And we have to defeat the Sudoku geckos. Which, of course, is easier said than done. Because I'm pretty sure if you charge it up to, like, the highest level, that, it kills them instantly. But then you've also got the ones that are, like, chilling. And this is where I was like, is the 50 cal the best way? I don't know. That's also a nice thing, though. You got a 50 cal. Again, it's not that it's bad that the game has too many weapons. It's just I feel like there's almost too much to get a decent amount of gameplay dedicated to throughout the experience, especially because this is a game where stealth becomes not really necessary for the second half. What is it? There's not as much gameplay to it. I think this is also a fun scene, you know, the whole split screen thing, right? Because now this is the one time where I'm actually able to watch the Vamp Raiden cutscene. So obviously I'm a little busy trying to focus on shooting at the exploding geckos rather than to watch these guys have an anime duel. But I do think it was a fun way to, like, allow both of these events to happen simultaneously, like gameplay and a cutscene, right? Because it would have been one thing to have the Raiden Vamp fight occur, and that would be a cutscene, of course, and it would be another thing to have this fun gameplay bit where you're, like, defending the Metal Gear from the geckos. So I think it's pretty cool that this allows both to happen without, like, interfering. Maybe another way they might have done it would have been having, like, you fight a couple of geckos, and then there's a cutscene, and then you watch the Vamp Raiden fight, and then there's another set of gameplay, so why not both, right? So I like it a lot. The other thing, of course, that happened here, which I think I probably cut out for pacing, is Naomi died. Because she's barely been kept alive by her nanomachines, and finally decided that, like, it was not worth it anymore, because she's a bad person, maybe. I like Naomi, she's an interesting character, but I don't get super emotional into her. If anything, I'm just more emotional because my boy Otacon just can't catch a break. Like in Metal Gear Solid 1, we meet him and he's cool, and he loses his crush, which is Sniper Wolf. Metal Gear Solid 2, he loses his sister Emma, and then in Metal Gear Solid 4, his other crush Naomi dies. Like, the dude just can't catch a break. Also, so I'm not doing videos for Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, and this is where I realized maybe the 50 cal ain't the best idea. We're out of ammo, so yeah. Yeah, so I'm not doing videos for Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, or Peace Walker, and Ground Zeroes. There'll be a little bit of that at the beginning. No. 2, 1. Nice try. yeah, I don't know when we're going to talk about Portable Ops and Peace Walker, per se. There's not too much to say. Hey, there we go, at last. I played Portable Ops, and I thought, well, I'll give that one a try. Originally, I was going to skip over it, but a friend of mine showed me a video on the story to it, and it seemed kind of interesting, and it was kind of fun that that was the beginning of, like, the concept that would get developed in future games. So now, here we go. We finally, after 4 main games and however other many side games, get to pilot a Metal Gear. And this is so much fun. We actually get to control Metal Gear Rex, and the only thing I can do is the iPod, so by the way, there's an iPod in this game. I think it's funny. And then, I guess because of licensing, they went with just the iDroid. And, yeah, dash for the win, right? I don't think you really need to bother with killing any of these guys. Just run, right? Just book it. Yeah, so this is obviously a fun section, you know. Again, total fan service, but hey, isn't that great? And it's just fun to kind of like see what it's like, you know. What would it be like piloting one of these things? So maybe it is just as easy as jumping in the pilot seat and, you know, spamming buttons, I guess. I like that. Yeah, Portable Ops was fun. Was a little tedious though, the whole having to like drag the soldiers back to the truck. But playing as multiple characters other than Snake was pretty fun. And some of the bad guys were interesting. Again, I don't know how canon or non-canon it is, because it seemed like it was a thing that was rewritten over time. That it wasn't canon, because, like, Sokolov is alive in it, and not everything seems to add up, plot-wise. But, yeah, overall, I did enjoy it. I was pleasantly surprised by Portable Ops and Peace Walker, because these were kind of games I didn't really think much of. I was sort of playing them for the story completionist element. And Raiden, of course, still the ever badass that he was. I did not play Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance because I wanted to finish playing these games before Elden Ring, and I didn't think that would give me enough time. So I didn't play it, but I know that game has a lot of its fans, so maybe I might consider it. I think I would need to play that also on PS3, but I'm also kind of against it because it wasn't involved with Kojima, and it seems like wrong that Raiden after this game was, oh, it's a Metal Gear Ray. Seems kind of wrong to me in this game that, like, after everything that happened, Raiden would go back to being the cyborg ninja. So I don't know. I think it would have worked better if it was like a midquel game of sorts, or like a pre-Metal Gear Solid 4 story, which I think it originally was supposed to be. Brother, it's not over. Not yet. Okay, it's over, right? Metal Gear 2 reference. Yeah, Liquid, of course, is ever campy as he ever was. That's great. I like it. And so yeah, here we go. Finally, at last, a Metal Gear versus Metal Gear fight. Yeah, this is pretty great indeed. There's kind of a couple of tricks to it, like using the different weapons, the missiles and the lasers, charging them up. I tried to like do a fun variety to like show off the fight properly. I do think it's kind of crazy just to show how strong that the Metal Gear Rex is, that this is a damaged, destroyed Metal Gear Rex, and it's still holding up to a Metal Gear Ray. And yeah, I know there's like kind of like some takedowns or quick time events you can do to it, but I don't know exactly how they work. I just know I was like, okay, the laser's OP, right? Gotta charge the laser like it's the railgun. So I don't know if I did it right or not, per se. So yeah, not the most crazy difficult fight, but it's just pure fan service. And I love how they managed to work this in. So yeah, there's like things you gotta do, I don't know, and yeah, I was like, there's a takedown, right? Yeah, like these finishers like that. I mean, I definitely think it was a prototype for that style of Rising or Vengeance. And I mean, the soundtrack is pretty fun, you know, Rules of Nature and all that, those are great. And it's got memes, right? Nanomachines, son. That's good. Which is funny that memes is used here in the context of, like, you know, shared ideas. And then memes has now taken on a completely different form. The meme of meme has become a meme of itself. So I love when we get lines like, you know, like, wipe this meme from the face of the earth. We must defeat the memes of the Patriots. That's pretty funny in that way, you know. Again, everything played straight-faced, and now it becomes even more kind of comical. I like that. That's what makes the game funny, is that it's like played straight face when it should be funny. Kind of like Alien Resurrection, right? It's a comedy played straight face, so it's no longer a comedy. And then, there we go. Finisher. Oh yeah. That was good. Yeah, so I might play Rising or Vengeance now that I have more time. I might not. I'm not super into it. There we go. Nice move on my part, I'd say. Yeah, because again, like the first two Metal Gears, the OG ones, I kind of slogged through them a bit, but I was still impressed by the way the story started. And I was looking forward to Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 2, again, I didn't love it, but I respect it in a lot of parts. Obviously, I love playing Metal Gear Solid 3, never get tired of that one. 4, I was excited for to see how well it hold up. I mean, no, it's not my favorite. It's flawed in some areas, but overall it leaves me satisfied. It's a good end, quote-unquote, to the series. And again, Portable Ops and Peace Walker pleasantly surprised me. Though I would say I am in the Peace Walker over Portable Ops crowd. Portable Ops felt like a very, very clunky game with some fun ideas to it. And I did not like some of the boss fights. And how little ammo and stuff you get in missions and the limited inventory. I didn't enjoy that. But the base recruiting and people was quite fun. Whereas Peace Walker, that just like, I got super invested in that. I almost had to like tell myself, okay, you need to prepare for Metal Gear 5. Well, don't take too much time. You know? And here we go. Fox, die. And I think it's funny, a nice little strange throwback to the ending of Metal Gear Solid. But actually, it was all just for nothing. Like, Liquid was literally just messing with us, because why not? It is not over yet. And I love how he, like, comically runs away and, like, points. There's one shot where he just, like, where is it? Behold. Oh yeah, Outer Haven is coming up. There we go, him running away, just pointing. Like he's a Saturday morning cartoon villain. I love it. I love how, like, despicably evil he is. But we don't have time for that whole cutscene there. We're focusing on the bosses. So the next thing we have, of course, is we get onto Outer Haven, and we have the Screaming Mantis fight, which, out of all the fights, is definitely my favorite because it's such a fun, clever throwback to Psycho Mantis, of course. We love Psycho Mantis. He was such a fun, innovative, unique boss fight, and now we have another equally fun, innovative, unique boss fight. It's actually interesting though. I don't feel like this fight gets like the recognition it deserves, perhaps. I just feel like when we talk about like best boss fights, we talk about the end, the sorrow, the boss. We talk about OG Psycho Mantis. These were fights where I already knew like there was a history and there was a hype behind them all. But maybe because this one is too similar to Psycho Mantis, that it doesn't get like the credit it deserves. I don't know. All I know is Johnny is here, and he also has his own 50 cal, and he's hot. So, yeah, damn right. Why did that give me like a Ghost in the Shell vibes? You know, he comes in with like the giant anti-tank rifle. It's an experimental gun, I had to pick it up from the armory. So, yeah, I think this is such a cool version of a fight, you know. It's a new boss meets Psycho Mantis meets the Sorrow. And there's weird puppet dolls. You know, there it is, Psycho Mantis. Yeah, I love it. Hey, you know, anytime we're throwing it back to Psycho Mantis, I'm never gonna get tired of. Oh, right. I guess the Psycho Mantis nostalgia took it a little too far when he's in Metal Gear Solid 5. That's just weird. That is the one thing I didn't like about Peace Walker. What it sort of started was Peace Walker started this whole thing. Oh, I love it. Johnny can't be controlled because he has no nanomachines. Because he's the only one who didn't show up for injections, I guess. Again, if real world events have told us anything, like, there'd be a lot more than just one dude skipping out on it. Yeah, the master of puppets, alright. Faster. Yeah, I didn't like what Peace Walker started doing with like the radio calls and the radio conversations, because it's no longer calls that you listen to in-game when you feel like it, that just contain like fun little tidbits of extra info. So as we can see here, I cannot shoot Meryl, right? Much like how Psycho Mantis could dodge your attacks. And, yep, the classic Hideo 2 screen. Oh, love it. I was worried that might mess with my capture, but it didn't, thankfully. Always scared when I'm recording with the capture card. You never know when it's just gonna be finicky. I remember when doing the Mass Effect 2 video, I had, nope, can't see QC here. What am I supposed to do? It's just not working. Well, there's a trick. Again, I sort of remembered what to do. I was like, okay, you gotta use the syringe on yourself. Because again, the nanomachine's present. But first off, we have to do some fun calls here, because I have to include these calls. Oh yeah, Rosemary, right? Rosemary's weird. Do you know there's jiggle physics with the controller? Like, you can jiggle the controller and it jiggles something else. That's interesting. And I love this. Okay, Snake, we'll put the controller into port 2, just like we beat Psycho Mantis. You're like, what? Look, there's no controller ports on the PS3 anymore. Oh, okay, so we can't just like push the PS button and switch controller numbers. Well, we'll see about that. I'm gonna give it a try. Oh my god, like, I love this. One of my all-time favorite fourth wall breaks in a video game. Okay, well, let's go here then, and let's change the controller settings. Okay, controller number 2. Let's go. And wait a minute, I get a call. What's going on, Otacon? I can't move. What's happening? Snake, did you set the controller number to something other than 1? He said like a disappointed parent. Now, did you try that, Snake? You probably thought that trick would work touch the controller ports trick. And nope, we can't do that. It doesn't work. I love how they put that into the game. Like, that's again my favorite part about the game, is all the details, right? Like, that they've actually accommodated for moments like this and thought it out. I love it. So, nope. We're gonna have to go back to controller number 1, unfortunately. So what is the trick then to getting rid of it? Well, it's the syringe. That's the trick. We use the syringe, and there we go. Now I'm like Ultron. There are no strings on me. So now, again, we can actually shoot properly. And I'm pretty sure the trick is to then knock out Meryl, because if you don't, first Psycho Mantis is going to make her off herself. Or sorry, Screaming Mantis. There we go. Good job. And then I'm pretty sure the trick is to grab her before she gets up and use the syringe. And okay, now this is where I realized I don't have the syringe equipped. Can I knock her out this way? I don't know. Okay, get over here. Is that gonna work? Sort of. It knocks her out temporarily. And let's figure this out now, shall we? So yeah, the radio calls in Peace Walker, right? So they made it so you basically have to just sit in the menu and wait while you listen to a whole bunch of calls. And if there's no really telling, like, which ones are important or not, well, not exactly. The important ones are marked with like some kind of special mark to them. But then there's others that get unlocked more from other ones. And alright, where's the doll? Give me the doll. I want the doll. No, not yet. So we gotta shoot the doll enough. Oh jeez, it's a shooting gallery in here. We gotta shoot the doll to knock it off. Again, I know already how you do this fight, but it was really fun to figure it out for the first time, and quite satisfying indeed. And I think it's fun that the boss doesn't fight you like directly, you know. It's a little bit different of a fight in that regard. Oh, what, you got a deagle? Oh, I'm terrified. Okay, actually maybe it does hurt. Alright, fine. Get over here then. Come here. It's time for your checkup. I'm gonna administer 27 cc's of death metal. That's good for you. It'll calm you right out. There we go. And again, trusty old M14. But now she's getting tricky. She's throwing all the ghosts in the way. I see. It's gonna be interesting in that way. Yeah, so oh, okay. That could hurt. Yeah, the calls in Peace Walker just kind of annoyed me in that way. Like, I remember I got really excited to find out there was a hidden tape from Eva. I thought, this is cool, more Eva. That's always great. I didn't know she was in this one. But then it amounted to like a nearly half-hour long rant about the boss and her history with the space program, which again indeed was cool, but like I was dozing off during it, and it's split into like 7 parts, and I was kind of tuned out by it. But it did introduce us a lot of interesting characters like Chico, Kaz, Paz, Dr. Strangelove. I am really glad that there's a conversation in Peace Walker where they just acknowledge that, like, yeah, she's named after the Stanley Kubrick movie. And yeah, there's the 2001: A Space Odyssey reference. Though I think it's funny how. Oh no, excuse me. Do you mind? I'm trying to do something important here. Okay. Okay. Now I need to. You come here. You need to. No. Okay. We're gonna. Guys, now is not the time. Do you mind? I'm trying to save my friend here. I know. Where's my poise when I need it? There we go. I was worried we were dealing with Dark Souls 3 poise, as in non-existent. Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't really dig that, the conversations in Peace Walker, and that carried over to Metal Gear Solid 5's radio conversations with important details being relegated to those types of conversations, like the whole Psycho Mantis origin. Like, some people are talking about how they don't know why Psycho Mantis is there, and well, it is there. It's detailed who he is and what he's doing, but Psycho Mantis is weird in Metal Gear Solid 5. But again, we'll talk about that later. Aha, mine, yes. All right, let's go. Oh, damn it. All right, fine. You got me one more time. Very well. All right, get over here. And yeah, now the fight's basically over. And now you're mine. Yeah. That's that. Also, I really hated the boss fights in Peace Walker. It really pissed me off so much because they didn't design boss fights that were like interestingly in mechanical ways. It was just simply, here's a bunch of robots and vehicles, and they've got crazy insane amounts of health. And we're gonna force you to either use the supply drops, or we're gonna force you to play in co-op because we don't give you any resources whatsoever. So I really did not like that one bit. It felt very tedious of a slog to get through. And then to make matters worse, we got to the way you unlock the secret ending, right? The real ending, the Chapter 5 Peace Walker battle, or the Metal Gear Zeke fight. I just didn't like this whatsoever because, first of all, Peace Walker was already like way too much of a bullet sponge, and then it had that whole bit where it would like, deflect all of your rockets, and so you had to make sure you saved your chaff grenades for that. I just didn't like that whatsoever. And then when I was like looking up on ways to get the secret ending, it was just like, hey guys, what's the best way to do this boss fight? Oh, it's super easy peasy. You just gotta use the bandana with infinite ammo. Okay, cool. How do I get that? Oh, that's super easy peasy. You just gotta get an S rank on this one mission. Okay, how do I do that? Oh, well, that's super easy peasy. You just gotta use this one rocket launcher. Okay, how do I unlock that? Oh, that's easy. You have to beat this other mission with an S rank. Okay, how do I unlock that? Oh, you just have to get an S rank on this other mission. It was like one of those like connect the dots puzzles. Like, to do option C, I need to have completed B, but only if D was finished before option A, and no, that's too much for me. I ain't gonna bother with that. So once we got into like the Peace Walker S plus difficulty fights, I totally noped out of it. I did not enjoy it whatsoever. And then to make matters worse, you have to replay all of those AI pod boss fights many times to unlock the AI parts or the weapon parts, and it's not guaranteed, it's just random. And then the internet was being like not helpful whatsoever, because I was trying to be like, how do I get AI parts? And it was like, oh, like literally there was no like official thing. It was just random, and it's like, okay, I guess you need to destroy the weapon parts if you want the AI pod, or target the AI pod if you want the weapon parts. But then it's like not guaranteed, so you may have to do the boss fight like multiple times. And the other thing I just didn't understand, Seek, because the whole thing is you're like, hey, nukes are a bad idea and Metal Gears are a bad idea, so to do that we're gonna build our own Metal Gear. It just kind of felt random, like Huey and Kaz are just like, Snake, we've got an idea, we should build our own deterrent. Our whole thing is about how nuclear deterrence is a bad idea, so we should build our own one. And Snake just seems to be like, yeah, we want to be a world power, that's a good idea. And I was like, is it really? Oh no, she's also hot. and she's probably the hottest one out of all of them. No. Yeah, so I didn't like that. And then, yeah, Zeke inevitably turns on you, because of course it does. And yeah, the schlag it was to unlock Zeke. And unlock that ending, I just didn't like it. So, here I thought I would try the one thing of where we have the weird photo mode thing. So I was like, how does this work? Well, you pull out the camera and then, like, they pose for you. What? Okay, well, sure, yeah. I've actually never done this before, that's why I kind of wanted to give it a try. So, like, yeah, so we have a woman in a tight latex outfit with the randomest jiggle physics, and you can pull out a camera and take photos of her. Okay, that's the thing. So, yeah, I did it for the content. Okay, now let's move on and get this sequence over with. Yeah. I'm not proud of it. It's weird. This game's weird, man. What is this, an anime? So, yeah, that's the thing. Didn't like the Peace Walker boss fights. Unlocking the Zeke fight was annoying. Didn't like that the enemies were just bullet sponges with not really many interesting moves. Very, very not cool indeed. So, I think Peace Walker's a good game, but I am glad that I didn't bother making a video on it particularly. And the same goes for Portable Ops. If we were doing the rankings of these games, like if I was going with like letterboxed scores, I'm thinking like Metal Gear would be a 3, Metal Gear 2 would be a 3.5, Metal Gear Solid would be a 4.5, Metal Gear Solid 2 would be a 4, Metal Gear Solid 3 is a 5, Metal Gear Solid 4 is a 4, and Metal Gear Solid, Portable Ops is a 3, Peace Walker's a 3.5. It's got a lot I don't like, but a lot of good stuff, and it was an improvement. And then I'm thinking Metal Gear Solid 5 might be a 4 as well. That's a tough one. I'm gonna say 4, so yeah, there you go, I guess. And here we go. OG Psycho Mantis from MGS1 1998. Psycho Mantis. And here we go again. The other greatest fourth wall break in a video game that there ever was. So now, Psycho Mantis is all gonna try to use or read our memory card, right? And I love how you could, fake your own memory card data in the redo the collection, the classic collection. That was fun. And here we go, he tries to read our memory card, but we're no longer using weird external memory cards before. Our data is hidden. Where is it saved? It's saved in a different, there's just random close-ups of a PlayStation 1. We upgraded our hardware. I love how canonically this makes no sense whatsoever from a lore perspective. Like, it's a game, but it's not. And here we go. We have the bit where he can try to move our controller, right? In the original DualShock 6-axis controllers didn't have vibration. So there was a scene of him getting mad and being upset and, just vanishing. But here I do have vibration enabled on my controller. So he does it and he uses his power. He moves my controller. And then he's so happy. So he very proudly proclaims, "Yes, vibration is back." And then he's like, "Okay, well, we have vibration. My work here is done." So, what? I don't get it, and I love it so much. And there's a voice that says like Salazar or Charizard, and that's Kojima, the voice of God. Okay, I don't know. And then again, there's also a quick little hidden. I think there's a hidden first-person thing where you can see the sorrow. Kind of like in a fun throwback to Metal Gear Solid 3 about the hidden, the hidden this is the microwave hall scene. And again, another bit where we're watching cutscene and gameplay together. And yeah, definitely one of the most emotional feels bits, you know. Snake is such a badass. He lasted nearly 3 to 5 minutes inside a microwave when the average human should only be able to last 1 or 2. Yeah. And definitely a feel scene, you know, because you have to start mashing triangle buttons, so like you are suffering along with him. Everybody talks about the button mashing from Metal Gear Solid. They don't talk about the button mashing from 2 or from this game. I think this game is in a league of its own in that regard. But I've never actually seen if you can fail in this scene, you know, or what happens if you don't tap it fast enough. Yeah. And again, that's why, despite this game's flaws, or despite the things that I don't love about it, or the style being kind of weird, ultimately it's these moments that make the game great. You know, this is art, cinema, absolutely nothing like it. And Mei-Ling is the captain of a battleship. That's cool. I think it's fun that we have an old school one, and I love that whole realization of the doors keep opening to show you how much further you need to go. I like that a lot. And this is kind of, I don't know how to describe it, kind of like Return of the King, Endgame, Return of the Jedi, sort of like when it all gets down to it, it's every main character comes back in some regard. Everybody's got a part to play. And it all comes down to this, right? You know, it all comes down to one last battle, and this succeeds in making it a big, final, epic battle. And you really feel like Snake is pushed to his utmost limits here. You know, it seems like he gets beaten up more in every game. He gets, like, hella tortured in 1, tortured even more, and loses his eye in 3. I know it's different characters, but, you know, the main character, that is. And here we have this microwave hall scene where he's about as close to death as he can get, because he literally has no health left. That means that at this moment, he survived on willpower alone, right? Literally. And I think that's impressive. And also, Sonny got to make the perfect eggs. That's great. I think it's funny, though, how, you ever see that movie, The Substance? Literally, the first shot is like a overhead shot of an egg. And I was like, this is Metal Gear Solid 4. And it involves clones and stuff, yep. If we never get a Metal Gear Solid movie, we have The Substance, so I will take it. And like that, we did it. So, we managed to get in to the control system and shut down and upload the virus. But it turns out this was actually part of Liquid's plan. You see, he wanted us to succeed because that would allow us to then shut down all nanomachines across the world, thus achieving world peace by disabling all of the weapons. Now, does this actually make sense? I don't know. Oh yeah, the Philosopher's Legacy and the memes of the Patriots, right? This is the thing I kind of wonder. His whole plan was, hey, he actually wants us to win, but I feel like he did too good of a job of trying to stop us from winning, you know? That's kind of one of those things where it's like the bad guy needs a thing to happen, but he has to act like he doesn't want the thing to happen. I don't know if it works, per se. But then again, it's not like he knew that he wanted us to win, because he doesn't know. Because this is Liquid. But it's actually Ocelot taken over by Liquid. But he's not really been taken over by Liquid. But he's not really taken over by Ocelot. Yeah, because Ocelot lost his arm, and he grafted Liquid's arm to it, and that somehow has the spirit of him possessing him is always voiced by a different voice actor. But none of that was actually real. He just merely used hypnotherapy to trick himself. And that's why the nanomachines haven't killed him yet, because they think that he's Ocelot. But he's not. He's liquid. Right? But he isn't liquid. He is Ocelot. And so that's what this fight is. We are literally beating the liquid out of him so that he becomes Ocelot again. And that's why the nanomachines register who he is. So, yeah, okay, sure, I guess that makes sense, right? Again, this is pretty crazy, right? And yeah, I love this. This is such a good final boss fight. Because again, it's all the fan service. It's once again Liquid and Snake fighting each other on top of a very high precarious area, just like in Metal Gear Solid. But then it's gonna go through all of the different phases of the games, which you'll see when we get to it. The one thing that is sad, I think I may have mentioned it in Metal Gear Solid 2, about how they don't bring back the awesome theme from that game. And that's because they got sued for plagiarism from some Russian composer. Oh, brutal, I know. Yeah, they got sued. And so they just decided, rather than debate the lawsuit or buy the rights, to just drop the theme altogether. But you can hear it here and there. You can hear Harry Gregson Williams trying to get it as close as possible, especially in this last segment. And here they go, they're fighting for the nanomachine suppressant. Damn. I kind of wonder though, because the stimulant restores your psych. I've always kind of thought about this. Oh, there we go. The ultimate liquid. Snake. Yeah, now we're talking. I know it's normally to prevent you from being controlled by nanomachines, but I guess that makes you feel better. I don't know exactly how it works. I just sort of roll with it like they're injecting themselves with the thing, and that's good and helps them out. I sort of just roll with the punches, you know? Literally. Because they're punching each other. And a lot is happening. Yeah. Kind of funny how, you know, it's a crazy game when we're at what is the final boss fight, and there's still half an hour left in the video, right? And I love it. You can hear the theme kind of building here, right? Just endless fight between these two guys. I can tell you, I know, man. Harry Gregson Williams, you want to bring it back. You're trying so hard, I know. It's okay. We'll still have that theme and the skater version we have in the Metal Gear Solid 2 bonus level. Oh, if only that was a thing still included, I would play it, because I loved Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. And I feel like it's something that's still been a part of my personality, even though I'm not that much into pop punk, and I'm not a skater, but I love Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. And here we go. This is the bit where I get all the chills, knowing this is the final fight. We've gone through all the trials and tribulations. It all comes down to this. And here they decide to be bros and help each other out, because they want to fight each other at full strength. And we got the old school health bars coming out now. This is the Metal Gear Solid 1 health bars. No tricks, no fun stuff, just a good old-fashioned boss fight. Let's begin. Liquid versus Solid Snake. Game on. And yep, here we go. The classic encounter theme from Metal Gear Solid 1, with like all the classic movements. This is a boss fight, though, I actually do find kind of tricky, mainly for the second phase, because Liquid has his whole like take this punch that he does, which like knocks you down. And I always found the rhythm kind of tricky. You need to like block some hits, but if you just like hold your block, he'll like do a heavy punch through it. you can't just spam attack, because eventually he'll get mad at that. You kind of have to find a nice balance. There we go, there's one of his charges. Come on, Snake, get up. Yeah, there's a lot of fun variations to it. Yeah, you can't just block. I don't know exactly how it is. The controls are there if you pause. But this actually went better than I expected. I remember, like, as a kid, trying to do this fight, and taking it, like, at least, 7 or 8 attempts, perhaps, maybe 9 or 10. But here I did it on, like, second try, so there was a very clever edit. This was not my first attempt. And here we go, the classic Ocelot liquid pose. And now here we go, we have the tanker incident from Metal Gear Solid 2. Oh, got hit by that, that's bad, you see. Lost a lot of health there. That's not good. That was the one I was trying to avoid. This is the part where I always die if it's ever happening in this fight. It's during phase 2. Once I get to phase 3, I'm pretty good. Just him revving up his whole take this punch, right? Again, oh well. It's a shame we don't get the theme. But what can you do, right? Oh well. You can't. Whew. Stunned him out of the take this. That was good. Yeah, I also just love how, like, as the fight goes on, like, it's just like him slowly incorporating more and more moves, which I know is classic for video game boss fights. Look at him, he seems determined to spam that. Come on. There we go. Nice stun. It's gonna be a close fight, though. We ain't doing so good. I feel like you can't spam it. You gotta, like, really time your punches. Come on, do it. Come on, I want you to do it. There we go. I'm gonna bait out the move and dodge it. I got a plan. Come on, do it. I know you wanna. I know you wanna. We're so close to doing it. We can do it. Once we get to phase 3, we're good. Phase 3 is almost more of a victory lap, I find. And here we go. He's starting to do more of the Ocelot moves. You're pretty good. Pretty good. And here we go, the Snake Eater theme. Yes. I don't know what it is, something about this phase of the fight I found easier. Like, again, if I ever died in the fight, it was phase 2, and he does his whole take this line, but he doesn't actually do anything. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of other things you can have happen, like grabs, chokes, and slams. There's that one bit where he, like, randomly gives you a kiss. I guess that's a thing. Sure, why not? I'm sure it's the thing that would have turned a lot of people into voice chat in Halo 3, if you know what I mean. But that's how it is. So, yeah. Never get tired of hearing the Snake Eater theme, because it is the best game, which I know. Boring answer on my part, but that's just how I feel. It was the first one I played, and it's the one that I've loved the most. And what a great fight and a fun conclusion. And here we go now. We get to the Metal Gear Solid 4 part. And again, this is the imminent tears moments. I do love this. Yep, it's still not over yet. I still love the, what is it, like the slow version of this song without the drums. Because the main version on the soundtrack has that kind of like slight little drum beat to it. Whereas here it's like almost all of these notes. It's just each one of them is like almost like piercing your soul with the feels and the emotion. Really makes you feel like this is it, this is the end, and that's it. We did it. We finally did it. Again, we're beating Liquid out of Ocelot so that he can be recognized by the nanomachine system and be defeated by the Fox Die virus. I think. Yeah, the final chapter to Metal Gear Solid 4 Like, again, it is like Chapter 3, where it is very little gameplay and mostly all cutscenes. And you have one little tiny room where you sneak past some geckos and a couple of the soldiers. And that's it. Then there's the boss fight, which is good. You run down a hallway and shoot a bunch of robots. And then there's the microwave section. And then there's this boss fight. So, not very much at all to it, unfortunately. But the bits that do happen are really good. And again, that's what I mean. It's like you get to the second half of the game, and you've been given so many cool weapons and options, and you barely get any opportunity to use them because part 3 is sneaking, a turret section, and a boss fight. Part 4 is probably the more gameplay heavy one with all of the Shadow Moses stuff. But again, it's not so much stealth because you don't fight any regular enemies, I think. It's the only time you fight the PMC soldiers during the crying wolf fight. Maybe, I can't recall fighting them elsewhere. It's mainly running and hiding from geckos and the scarabs. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing, I find. So yeah, Chapter 2 probably has the most variety in it, but also you haven't unlocked a lot of stuff, so is there a New Game Plus in the game? I think there is. That would make sense. So you could unlock everything, but even then, like, you don't really need to stealth your way through on the battlefield. It was a really cool concept, though. Strangely enough, this is a game where perhaps I wouldn't mind, like, an expanded remake of it, you know, like, just done differently to perhaps move past the PS3 technological limitations, maybe, possibly. But I know we're still waiting on that Bloodborne remastered, right? And instead we're getting Horizon Zero Dawn remastered, which is random, and, you know, I thought it was random, but oh well. Anyway, here we go. What's his final line gonna be? Well, of course, it's gonna be, "You're pretty good. You're pretty good. Pretty good. You're pretty good." Yep. And, that's that. Fox Die Virus finally did his job. Again, once more for the first time at last. Maybe. I don't know if he comes back in Metal Gear Rising or Vengeance. Never played it myself. So, we'll see. But, yeah, that's the final boss fight in Metal Gear Solid 4. But we do have one or two things to wrap up. As you can see, we still have 20 minutes of video. And if this was the game you were playing, you would actually still have 70 minutes of cutscenes, right? As has been stated by many times, that this game is a Guinness World Record holder for longest segment of uninterrupted cutscenes in a game. Though, it's not like it's gameplay free, because you still have, like, the button tapping bits, right? The memories, and there's some interactability here and there. Oh, they're giving, you know, head scrunchies. That's nice. So yeah, Sunny created like a giant virus that went and shut down everything, apparently. It's called Fox Alive. That's nice. I don't know, yeah, that's cool. I'm trying to remember which scenes I actually put in here in terms of it, because obviously I was not going to narrate over 70 minutes of cutscenes in a boss fights video that already would have been super crazy long. So yeah, it's kind of funny how, like, this game is literally like, right, you're gonna sit down and watch a movie. But, like, this is the crazy thing I also think about. Oh, I can hear you, Harry Gregson Williams. You're trying to play the theme. You're trying, I know. I think about it back in the day, like, a friend of mine, I did this twice. Once with one friend and once with another one. Also, why Besides, this shot made me think at the end of Call of Duty Black Ops. That was a fun game. Yeah, so I think of how a friend of mine, we started playing around Chapter 3, and in one night, we played from Chapter 3 to the end of the game, because we were so into the game we couldn't put it down, and I did that with 2 different friends on 2 separate occasions. War has changed. Again, unless you're Fallout 3, then war never changes. Yeah, so there's just one last meme to deal with, right? Yeah, because Snake, he's a little worried that once he dies, the fox die virus is gonna go crazy and almost start a kind of walking time bomb of a viral pandemic, right? Like he's James Bond at the end of No Time to Die, which is sad, of course. Yeah, so Call of Duty Black Ops 5's the ending. One last punishment I must endure. One job, erase my genes. Where's the line? Wipe this meme from the face of the earth. Oh, I can't take that line seriously anymore. Oh well. Yeah, so it's okay that it's a super long ending because there's a lot of game to wrap up. But I just think, man, how early did we start playing it if we went from Chapter 3 to the end of the game and we pulled an all-nighter? Because, I don't think we stayed up till 4 a.m., but, we might as well have had to so that we could do this all in one night. I don't know. But yeah, Snake believes that there's one last thing to do, and that is he has to, make sure that he can't go totally viral, rogue, lethal. Though I do wonder, if this was his plan, would his body still not be dangerous? Maybe you should do this in a more secluded area where people aren't going to find your body and potentially get infected. And I do think it's interesting that he comes and salutes the boss's grave when he didn't really know her. That did feel like more of a fan service thing put in there specifically for the people who loved the ending of 3, but I'm okay with that. And he did it. Well, it looks like he's about to do it. The camera pans up and gunshot. Yep. So anyway, guys, that was Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. Thank you for watching. Not the most happy ending indeed, but one that I enjoyed, Snake had a hard life, and he was always keeping them waiting, right? And shout out to such a really great voice cast. I would love to meet all of them with how well they are, and we have such a great theme here again. We get that Metal Gear Solid 3 action scene. Thankfully, they were able to bring that one back. So yeah, boss fight wise, they're not the greatest. Laughing Octopus, again, I just found annoying, and I don't really know what I was doing wrong. And then Raging Raven also just felt like a bullet sponge, so I didn't enjoy that. Crying Wolf was pretty fun. I liked that fight. And Screaming Mantis was also fun and innovative. And the liquid fight is just really classic. But I love this moment where you're like, wait a minute, Big Boss. But Big Boss was dead. We saw his corpse get thrown into the fire. And it's Richard Doyle who also voiced the Fury in Metal Gear Solid 3. What? And that's when you realize, oh, shoot, we ain't out of the woods just yet. No, we've got one more big final twist to be had. And that is that in a surprise twist, it turns out that someone is still here to reveal more secrets to us. And that someone is, of course, the man, the myth, the legend himself. It is Slow Dramatic himself, and he's here with Major Zero, because Zero was behind it all. Oh yeah, that's a cool moment, alright. Here he is, the OG, Big Boss. Yep, and he's got the Patriots still. Yeah, we ain't out of the woods. And there's an extra layer of sadness if you have the Japanese version, because it was the father of Snake's actor who played Big Boss, and yeah, so they reconciled because they'd been estranged before he passed away, so it's just an extra layer of sadness. Alright. And I love this, man. He fakes him out with the gun drop, which of course this is such classic Big Boss, and yeah, I'm trying to think. This is, oh no, it's not the first scene they've interacted with, of course, because there was the original Metal Gear games. And I love this, you took your eye off the target. Classic rookie move. But you know, you're just a rookie compared to the Big Boss. And yep, he CQC'd him into a hug. That's nice. Very nice indeed. So yeah, Big Boss, this is where we get confusing. Okay, so the Snake that is the boss that died in Metal Gear was Venom Snake, right? But it wasn't really, because, you know, that Snake dies, and then we hear him say, like, Snake, it's not over yet, I'm still alive, in a post-credits scene. And then we see another Big Boss who's alive in 2, Metal Gear 2 that is, and talks about how he's annoyed and mad that you tried to kill him. So we defeat him there and we burn his body. So I don't think it was originally intended that there was going to be a whole Venom Snake sort of thing, because people were confused at how Big Boss died in Metal Gear and then came back in Metal Gear 2. Well, he didn't. Again, you think you killed him, but you didn't. It's made clear he's still alive at the end of the credits in Metal Gear. So, he didn't fully die when we burned him in Metal Gear 2, right? He was kept alive in a comatose state, and then his body was switched. So the body we thought was his body that was burned, that was actually Solidus' body, which is crazy when you think about that. He would have been flayed alive to then be made as the substitute for Big Boss. Pretty gruesome when you think about it. And then this Big Boss, he was like, you know, rebuilt and grafted together from like pieces of Solidus and liquid. Of course, he is still going to be subjected to be killed by the Fox-Die virus. But the good news is that Snake is actually not going to become a walking time bomb, because that version of Fox-Die has been suppressed by the new version of Fox-Die that he was injected with by Drebin. And then, of course, Major Zero, the one behind it all, he gets the plug pulled on him and dies. I do think it is kind of random, because we know Zero as like this cool commander, the Roy Campbell of Metal Gear Solid 3, and then just, oh yeah, he was like the big asshole the whole time, apparently. I do like how the ending of Metal Gear Solid 5 gives some more context to him with all of those tapes. That's nice, because to me it almost seemed like Zero wasn't really a character, he was just a name. He's never a guy we see in all of those other games where he's supposedly bad. They just tell but don't show, and I don't really like that. And who did we get to replace him? It was Skullface, who is not that great, but again, we will get to that later. And this, of course, is very sad, because they took the saddest, most emotional part of Metal Gear Solid 3 and doubled down on it. Yeah, wow, really good way to kick us while we're down, right? on Zero rather than just monologues from other characters. Like, I wanted to see how he was a bad guy, not just hear from other people that Zero asked us to do this. I think we get like one call between him and Kaz that's a hidden Peace Walker tape. That's the other thing as well, like one of the most important tapes in Peace Walker is only unlocked by doing every single mission. And some of those you can only unlock when you do S ranks on missions, and oh, I just hate that I can't just beat the mission. I have to get a good rank on it. I don't like that whatsoever. Not very fun. And here we go. He finally has the strength to do it. You can't see it, but I'm doing it right now. I'm doing the salute as well. This one's for you, boss. Thanks, boss. Oh, there we go. He manages to do it. And yep, of course, we have the flashbacks to Metal Gear Solid 3. It all comes full circle. And, you know, she was a true hero. She was a true patriot. Single tear. Yep. Straight up man tears. Absolutely. And yeah, again, like, are all of these scenes drawn out to the longest they possibly could? Yes. Do I care in moments like this? No. But again, I did edit out some of it because I don't think we need to sit here for a 20-minute conversation about how, you know, Liquid just Ocelot used hypnotherapy to make himself think he was possessed by Liquid because he was the boss's true friend and he knew what needed to be done. About taking down the Patriots and the Zero system of control. Again, funny enough, we talk about the AIs and how it was predicting everything and how it's becoming true, like Metal Gear Solid 2 we all talked about, right? But I also think of that bit in Peace Walker where, like, there's been an AI programmed with the memories and knowledge of the boss, and, like, it has her voice and her personality. You know, that feels something very relevant to today. But yeah, we are finally almost there. It's been a long haul, but we've managed to make it through Metal Gear Solid 4. Of course, come on, man. You can't go out with one last cigar, right? You gotta do it, man. There you go. That's what Snake would want. And I'm talking about Snake, like Escape from New York. Snake. Also, I actually enjoyed Escape from LA. Was I not supposed to? I didn't hate it. I thought it was entertaining and fun. You know, it was just like more of what I liked about the first one. This is good, isn't it? Yes, it is, Snake. I mean, boss. Big boss. You've earned it. You've earned your rest. Well done. And yeah, that about does her. That's that. Except not really, because there's a post-credits radio call, because there always is. But yeah, so overall, I do really still love Metal Gear Solid 4. It is not a game without its flaws. I feel like it needed a little more focus and direction, but as a conclusion to the series, I think it's really, really well done. And I think they nailed it on that. Of course, it's not really the conclusion, because it kind of is. It's the last main game chronologically, if we don't count Rising or Vengeance. But it wasn't the last game released, because we kind of went back to doing prequel stuff with, like, Portable Ops, Peace Walker, and Metal Gear Solid 5. So, how is Metal Gear Solid 5 as a conclusion to the series? Kind of, sort of okay. It's fun that it wraps up everything and essentially starts the story. You know, ends the story where it began. But there's a lot wrong with Metal Gear Solid 5, and of course we'll talk about that. And I'm sure most of my thoughts on it are quite similar to what a lot of other people have said. So, yeah. And this is just a fun final conversation, right? You know, Snake and Otacon, they go and he's gonna walk the earth, you know, like Cain. Right? Also, I can't believe I made it through all these games up until Peace Walker without realizing that Hal Otacon was indeed a reference to Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I do like all their conversations, right? And Cecile, she's cute. I liked her. It's too bad she's only in Peace Walker and is just one random part of the game. Yeah, so I like the base building stuff in Peace Walker. I like how it really sets you up for an emotional start with Ground Zeroes. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there. So I think it was a fun evolution of the franchise. So yeah, some boss fights not that great, some of them pretty fun. It's kind of a mixed bag, but overall I enjoy the experience, and it's one that I was glad to come back to and, you know, relive it. Portable Ops was a flawed game, but it was cool. It had some fun bits, and I was excited to see it expanded upon more. And that gave us Peace Walker, which again, really bad boss fights that I hated. So tedious and annoying to try to unlock that final ending, but it was fun building the base, and I liked sending my guys out on the missions, you know, where you watch them fight. Really sucks that they totally nerfed that element in Metal Gear Solid 5. But yeah, so that's that. We of course have my final rank to get to, and we've got some more eggs. Of course, nice little eggy wags. Yeah. Are they ready? You literally just cracked them into the pan. Sort of like the sun, huh? 3 suns. Yeah, so the next video will be Metal Gear Solid 5. I am an eagle, like the Desert Eagle. Yeah, we'll show a bit of footage from Ground Zeroes in that one. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry about the wait. Kept you waiting, huh? We'll see you in 1984. Hope you all enjoy that, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good night. Bye.